Bow, chicka wow wow. Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome to Elevate Your Life. I am your hostess with the mostess, L as in the letter L, and key as in the key to your heart. Tonight is Wednesday, December 18th. Wisdom Wellness Wednesday. I have a lot of things to cover, so bear with me. I hope I don't forget anything. Please forgive if you hear the background noise. The commuters are going up and down my street, and I definitely do edit my podcast, but sometimes my dog will start making all kinds of random noises, Chanel, who I try to keep quiet during the podcast, or my husband will be in the other room rattling things around in the kitchen, living area, whatever. And then, like I said, well, it's commuter hours right now, so please have some grace for me. Okay, so let's get into it. One of the things I want to share with you, since I've been MIA for, a week now, because a week ago today, I was leaving for LA to spend the night in LA with my daughter and her bestie, Carly, and meet Andrew for dinner to celebrate Carly's birthday dinner, after which time we had plans to go to Cabo San Lucas. And so I have a lot of things to share about the trip. So we left on Wednesday, arrived Wednesday evening, Cheesecake Factory for dinner, compliments of Andrew. Andrew, thank you. Thank you for paying for our pricey dinner for all of us. And the next day, we left on Aero to head to Cabo San Lucas. Aero is the private jet company that my daughter, Brooklyn Cherix, works for. And so Carly and I had the privilege of flying on Aero. And the staff was amazing. The jet was amazing. Top of the line service, food. Oh my gosh, so many great things. I feel like this is going to be the longest podcast ever. Daniel, thank you so much for being host with the most, who also has fragrance out, one of them which is called Blanco, but Daniel was our flight attendant and he was just amazing. Talk about hostess with the mostest. He was the host with the most. But all of the staff were so amazing. Ahmed, Amy, just, oh my God. And I don't remember the gentleman that served us the champagne in our waiting area, but he also was wonderful. Our trip in Cabo was amazing. There were a lot of excursions involved from, oh my gosh, a cooking class at Flora Farms where we made our own homemade salsa and homemade tortillas, and then had an incredible lunch of Mexican food, tacos, 2 different types of guacamole, key lime pie for dessert, provided us to-go boxes to put our food in. I mean, and if any of you have been to Cabo San Lucas, I highly recommend that you you take the cooking class and you go to Flora Farms. Again, just an amazing staff, the grounds, the story behind Flora Farms. The couple that started it are originally from Sonoma, raised their kids at the farm, now occasionally stay in Colorado, I believe. At any rate, so that was one of our excursions. Another was a catamaran evening dinner cruise where we had the opportunity to have dinner on the cruise, champagne, and to our surprise, saw whales. They actually told us that the whales don't normally come out until December 15th, but we were graced with a mama, a papa, and a baby humpback whale. That was very exciting, one of the things on my bucket list. And the dinner, the cruise, the, again, staff, the people, just all of the excursions that we took in through Cabo Adventures were well worth the money. The other excursion we did was an ATV ride and a camel ride, and afterwards a lunch is provided and tequila tasting, where we also saw whales while eating our lunch. Met wonderful people on the shuttle buses, on the way there, on the way home, and back to our luxurious Airbnb with an ocean view, infinity pool that I swam laps in every morning, 7 a.m., which is so interesting because on my vacation, the intent is supposed to be taking the excursions, but also maybe relax and sleep in. Well, I did nothing of the sort. I don't know if it was because I was in a new environment, but I'm noticing a theme that when I go away to different places, I sleep less, I wake up earlier than I would at home, and so still kind of tired, so bear with me. Oh my God, excuse me if I'm yawning in your ear. So what else? Let's see. We also took in a little bit of sightseeing, looked for souvenirs on our last day. Obviously, amazing food, the art walk, and various cocktails, and just spending time with my daughter and her bestie, Carly. Yeah, it was 5 days, 4 nights of pure bliss, taking in the culture, the food, the drinks, the beach, the sunny 70 plus degree weather, all of that. So definitely a great time. Highly recommend it. If you haven't been, go. Lots of fun, wonderful people. Yes, there are a lot of touristy places in Cabo, but also the people are wonderful as well. So moving on, I have some people that I want to give shout outs to, specifically Bontro Bling hats created by my friend Bonnie Bates. She designs these beautiful, the material is like cloth. I don't know if any of you have seen those fall hats that usually have a ribbon around them or are bejeweled, where generally they're worn in the fall with maybe a long sweater, some jeans, some boots. I'm not really sure what the material is. I want to say a heavy-duty cloth material. Anyway, Bonnie started up this business, which I don't understand why it's not booming more than it is, but it's called, as I said, Bontro Bling Hats, and they're amazing. Come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, and they're gorgeous. So, Bontro Bling Hats through Bonnie Bates and Jacques Gautreau. The other business I want to give a shout out to is my dear friend and mom, which is Nicole Sedano and her adorable son, Zachy. Zachy is 21 years old and he has autism. And he and mom is teaching him life skills. And in doing so, they have started a cookie business, which is called Zachy'sSweetTreats.com. I feel like I should go back to Bonnie. So let me spell these out for you. So www.ZACHYS Zachy's and then sweettreats.com. So all one word. ZACHYSSWEETTREATS.com. And he started this cookie business. The proceeds are helping Zach, who is a brilliant, adorable 21-year-old boy with autism. And he and Nicole, I just love them. I love how they are with people, the community. So basically, she's teaching him life skills, so they've started a cookie business called Zachy's Sweet Treats. So look them up. They have some amazing cookies from, oh my God, red velvet, white chocolate chip, regular white chocolate chip, chocolate peanut butter chip, birthday cake with sprinkles. The homemade cookies are made by a young man with autism, as I mentioned before, and obviously baked with love. So I encourage you to look at the website, look at the cookies. My mouth is watering just looking at it. And so let me just go back to Bontro hats because I want to make sure that you know how to find them, where to find them. She's not necessarily advertising. Jacques is bass guitarist in the band Rewind, Jacques Gautreau. Bontro came from combining their hats together. So it's BONTREAUX Bling Hats. They had a little show November 9th at Sherman Ranch Barn Boutique. And so if you look up Bonnie Bates or Jacques Gautreau, you could look up the hats and see for yourself. I don't know if they're going to be doing any more shows, but they're beautiful hats. So if any of you are interested in any of these things and you can't track them down and you can't find them, you can send me a text through the fan mail option, which a lot of you know that I do encourage you to do so. And I'll give you that information once again, because I always try to give you that. My RSS feed is https://feeds.buzzsprout.com/2323357.rss. That is where you can write in via Buzzsprout. There's a fan mail option. You can also find me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. I generally only name those because those are the most popular, also on YouTube. So if any of you wanted to write a message, send a fan mail, ask a question, I'll also indicate all of this information in my podcast script. So when you find me on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Amazon Music, you'll see it will give you a text option. It might not say fan mail, it might say send a text. So you could reach out to me that way. You can also find me Elkivate podcast via Instagram, Elkivate Your Life via Facebook. So basically, I wanted to share with you guys that I had an amazing experience traveling with my 24-year-old daughter and her 24-year-old bestie. And the last time we traveled was in 2021, where we went to Puerto Vallarta, and that was kind of like a girls' trip that involved a lot of torta visits at the local taco spot, one very nice rooftop restaurant, and then a lot of cocktails. So this time was sort of our grown-up trip. So thank you to Brooklyn, who helped facilitate for us to be able to fly with Aero and have that experience. And also thank you to the staff at Aero who made our experience an just remarkable one. And one of the topics I wanted to touch on this evening, because it has been coming up a lot with people I've been coming in contact with, recent diagnoses that have been shared with me, is talking about mental illness. And the one that has been prevalent in conversations around me is bipolar disorder and the 10 subtle signs of bipolar disorder. And just give you a little bit of history. So it talks about when it comes to mental illness, there are plenty of stereotypes, but in reality, mood disorders can be hard to pinpoint, particularly in people with bipolar disorder symptoms. Chalking it up to moodiness or trouble at work or tiredness is pretty common. I've been educating myself about this more because some people very close to me suffer from this and may or may not have been officially diagnosed, may or may not be aware, but like I said, conversations that have been around me, it's been talked about. It's been brought up a lot. I work with special ed kids, so I'm just trying to educate myself as much as I can on the people that have these type of illnesses so that I know how to interact with them and understand more about it. So I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. So I found out when they're in a manic phase, people with bipolar disorder can have an inflated self-esteem. They feel grandiose and don't consider consequences. Everything sounds good to them. Two of the most common types of behavior that can result from this are spending sprees and unusual sexual behavior. So they go on to say bipolar disorder is characterized by up and down episodes of mania and depression. During a manic phase, some patients can have a total break from reality. But hypomania, which is also a symptom of the disorder, is a high energy state in which a person feels exuberant but hasn't lost his or her grip on reality. Hypomania can be a pretty enjoyable state. A person's mood can be elevated. They may have a lot of energy, creativity. They may experience euphoria. This is the upside of the bipolar disorder that some people with the condition actually enjoy while it lasts. Some people are naturally talkative. We all know a motor mouth or a chatty Cathy. But pressured speech is one of the most common symptoms of bipolar disorder. This kind of speech occurs when someone is really not in a two-way conversation. The person will talk rapidly, and if you try to speak, they will likely just talk over you. They will also sometimes jump around to different topics. What's kind of a red flag is when it is atypical for the person to talk like this, doing it only when they're in a manic cycle, but not at any other times. Some people with this condition suffer from mixed mania, where they experience symptoms of mania and depression at the same time. And during this state, they are often extremely irritable. Everyone has bad days, obviously, right? Which is one reason why this kind of bipolarity is much harder to recognize, because a lot of us are irritable or moody sometimes, myself included. But in people with bipolar disorder, it often becomes so severe that it interferes with relationships, friendships, especially if the person is saying, I don't know why I'm so irritable. I can't control it. Sometimes they have trouble completing tasks. They'll often, in their hypomania phase, be really productive, and then sometimes they'll go from task to task, planning grand, unrealistic projects that they don't finish, and they can often be distractible. So anyway, I wanted to share some of that because, like I said, in my last episode, I talked about things that have been prevalent conversations. And then this episode, I wanted to share my vacation and why I was MIA for the Wednesday episode, and then the Mindful Monday episode because I was in Cabo and I didn't bring my equipment with me. But also knowing people that are close to me that suffer from this mental illness. And that's really what it is. It is a mental illness. So I guess since it's Wisdom Wellness Wednesday, I would encourage you all to just make sure that you are aware of your own mental health. A lot of us kind of ignore if we might be depressed, or I know for me personally, I can speak from my own personal experience. I had become severely depressed, and it took a very dear friend of mine to tell me that I was depressed. My daughter was very young at the time. I was on disability, not working. So I used to come up with creative ideas to go out and have fun with my daughter. I'd be like, get your backpack. We're going to go take a trip. And we'd end up pretending that we were going to go to school, but we'd go to the park or something like that. And I actually went to my doctor and they said, yes, you're suffering depression because you're not working right now. So you have no identity. You feel like you have no sense of self, which I hadn't even thought about. So thank God my friend kind of talked to me about it and brought it to my attention. I was medicated at the time with Prozac and eventually pulled myself out of it and weaned myself off the medication. And since then, I've found out from my doctor I have OCD tendencies, not OCD per se, but OCD tendencies. So this Wisdom Wellness Wednesday, I wanted to be about taking care of yourself and your mental health, because a lot of us don't listen to our bodies or pay attention to our mood swings, or maybe we suffer from anxiety or depression and we just kind of suppress it, don't talk about it. Maybe we take the initial step to call a doctor, make an appointment, but maybe then after that we don't follow through. We don't do anything about it because we think, well, you know what, it's fine. I'm managing just fine. I'm doing all of the things I can. I meditate, I work out, whatever the case may be, do yoga, go for a walk, swim laps, I don't know. So I just want to encourage you that if you do have questions or concerns about yourself or someone you know, it's okay to talk about this, because what I am discovering is that all of us have skeletons in our closet. All of us have things, traumas, OCD tendencies, conditions. And it's important that we seek out help so that we can find tools to help us to work through the highs and the lows and understand what's happening to our bodies and create healthy coping strategies. And maybe we need medication. Maybe we need to be in counseling. Maybe it's not something that can just be managed on its own. So I would just encourage you to consider that for Wisdom Wellness Wednesday. Don't be afraid to look at yourself and listen and observe the things that are happening to you, and make sure you take the appropriate steps to take care of your, not just physical health, but your mental health. It's important. It's important for us to know and, create healthy activities and outlets to better ourselves, and also for the people around us to better understand. So that was something that was really on my heart. I want to end on a positive note once again, just to share with you about Nicole and Zachy and Zachy's sweet treats. I hope that you will look up the website and order them for a friend or a colleague, especially now. Hello, we're in holiday time. It's a perfect time to order cookies and gift them to a friend, a family member, somebody you know who loves sweets. I know I'm a big fan of that, so much that I really have to tell myself no. Sweets are my weakness, y'all. So once again, www.zachyssweettreats.com, ZACHYSSWEETTreats.com. And if you look it up, you'll be able to see the website and a little bit of the story. Talks about our baker is pretty special because he's a 21-year-old young man with autism and is navigating this world with the help from his mom. I have to tell you, watching their videos brings such joy to my heart, and just you can see and feel the love between them. I'm going to get choked up because every time I watch their videos, it just makes my heart smile, and these are tears of joy. So I hope that you will subscribe to them, order the cookies. They look delicious. I am supposed to have the privilege of sampling them in the near future. Can't wait. I love a good cookie with some herbal tea. That's kind of one of my go-to faves. Or hot chocolate. And then, like I mentioned, Bontro bling hats. Bonnie Bates, Jacques Gautreau. You could look for them on social media, and or if you live in the Tri-Valley area, maybe you'll see them and have the opportunity to get one of the hats. And like I said, I'll include all this information in my text information as far as the podcast goes. Thank you again to everyone who made our Cabo San Lucas trip amazing. From Angela, who rented out the lovely Airbnb that we stayed at, to Brooklyn, to Carly, to Aero, to Aero staff, to the Uber drivers we had. Shout out to Daniel, who was an excellent Uber driver and tour guide. Flora Farms, Cabo Adventures. The list goes on and on. I could be here all night listing off everything. If you haven't been, I recommend you go. And, well, the last thing I wanted to share with you is after this week, I will be on Christmas vacay from school. So shout out to my staff. Cheryl, happy retirement to you. To my wonderful staff, I hope you have a wonderful holidays. By the way, has everyone finished their Christmas shopping? Got your tree up, got your lights, did all your shopping? Planning anything fun for the holidays, going anywhere, doing anything? I have to be honest, the time that I was in Mexico, it was so sunny and hot, I kind of forgot it was holiday season and it was Christmas time. Until we got to one of our beach excursions and the beach was decorated in holiday theme. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's Christmas time. We are just in this lovely, warm, beachy weather, so I kind of forgot. And I'm glad I was gone for the storms, but yes, came back to the cold weather. And Cancer the crab over here loves her sunny weather. So I think that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. As always, I will look forward to your feedback, your comments, your questions, your fan mail. And once again, I want to encourage you to subscribe. What you would go and pay for a coffee and or a pastry at your local Starbucks, Pete's Coffee, coffee shop. You can subscribe to me for as little as $3 a month or as much as $10 a month. And what do the subscribers get? Well, I usually give them a shout out, talk about them, their business, thank them, and I'm still working on additional things that I can do for the people that subscribe to me. Want to have them as guests on my show, so I'm working on getting another microphone and a camera so we can come to you live and you can put my face with a voice. So I will look forward to your fan mail, to your sponsoring, to your subscribing. Please continue to listen to Elkivate Your Life. Thank you for joining me. As I said before, Elkivate Podcast on Instagram, Elkivate Your Life on Facebook, also Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Buzzsprout. Elkivate Your Life. Ciao for now.